Alright guys, hi, how's it going? How are you? I feel like I'm talking to a baby because that's what I've been doing for half of my life for the last week. So, we are going to start chapter 8 now. Chapter 8 is the last chapter we do before the photography chapter. So no, my cat, stop, don't know my cat. My cat was getting up on my chair. It's not my cat, it's my daughter's cat. I don't have a cat, my daughter has a cat. We will be doing the photography project when I come back, but we'll be doing some preliminary things in the photography chapter before I get back. I spent some time going over the parts of a camera. I show you some of the parts of the camera, how to use a camera, and things like that. But there are a lot of things that you'll be able to do yourself. I hate cats, dude. I hate them. So, that being said, let's get to chapter 8, page 181. We're going to talk about writing and journalistic style. There are just a few key points, and it's a fairly quick chapter to get through. So we're going to start with, obviously, the vocab style book is something that a specific publication is going to have that dictates how they handle certain things. Like, are they going to use what's called the Oxford comma, the serial comma, the one right before the last conjunction in a sentence? Some places do it, some don't. So that all goes, those sorts of things go down into what's called a style book. All right. Style is just the way in which an author chooses to write. And yes, I'm wearing camo. I don't know if you can tell that. I am a bit of a hillbilly. Hillbilly who likes journal. I don't know. Anyway, style is the way a specific person or a specific publication is going to write. Okay, it's a lot different than scholastic style, which you're going to see on page 184. Scholastic style is the way you've been trained for years and years and years to write, and it's is not rooted in a journalistic sense. Journalistic style and scholastic style are a little bit different. We don't have to give in journalism. We don't necessarily have to give citations the way that you would if you're writing an English paper, and we've talked about that. If you're doing some research and you're saying according to a CNN.com poll, you don't have to at the end of that story give a real long bibliography about where you got your information. That according to is all the attribution you need. Okay, so that is that's what I want you to know at this point. Okay. Jump over to page 188 with me. We're going to talk about choosing concise words. Concise words are important when we take into consideration the audience that we have. What's our audience at Martinsville High School? It's Martinsville High School. At what grade level are we doing most of our writing? We're going to be doing most of our writing at the grade level of about 10. We don't want to be much higher than 10, and we don't want to be much lower than 10. Why is that? Because that's, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. There may be research on this, I don't know. But my opinion is that most people can read at a 10th grade level after having a little bit of high school under their belt. That's not to say that we should push the envelope and maybe do things at a higher level. We can do that, and we do that in some cases. But that 10th grade level is really kind of what we're looking for. So down at the bottom of page 188, you've got some concise words. The term activate. Not everybody's going to be able to understand what activate means. You would assume that most students at Martinsville High School would know what the word activate means, but some may not. So we could just simply use start or begin. Okay, terminate, end, or stop. Fabricate means to lie, so on and so forth. So you get the transformation, which means change. The bottom line here is just picking words that are easy to understand by the majority of people. Okay, not to say dumb it down, but in a way you kind of are dumbing it down. Okay. All right. Jump to page 191 with me, where we're going to talk about placing modifiers. This is hilarious to me. I love this part of the book. I laugh at it every year, and I laugh at it way more than you probably will because I'm a dweeb. So, let's take a look at the first one, the incorrect form. A feature story on eyeglasses mentioned a German-made frame for men with snakeskin-covered temples. The way that that's written, this is only for German dudes who have snakeskin right here. All right, you have a misplaced modifier. So if you look at the correct way to write that, a men's German-made frame with snakeskin-covered temples. We're not talking about men with snakeskin right here. I only know 5 or 6 people who have snakeskin right there, so it's a very niche market for those sunglasses or those glasses. Are they glasses, sunglasses? It doesn't say, does it? It just says men's German. Okay, anyway, I have derailed. Going down to the next one, Dr. Laura Marvel told how one woman escaped from slavery during her review of the book. So it makes it sound like this woman was reviewing a book and escaped slavery while she was like, I can read this. That's the kind of misplaced modifier that we have there. The right way to do that would be, in the book review, Dr. Laura Marvel told how one woman escaped from slavery. See, there's a huge difference depending on where you put the words. Okay? It's also the kind of thing, this is getting into grammar, but imagine this sentence in your mind with me. Let's eat grandma. Alright, if we put a comma after let's eat, we aren't cannibals. We take that comma out, and you're eating your frickin' grandma. Don't do that. Okay? Okay, jump down to the third one. We're not going to read all of these. You can read them on your own. She neared. I offered up a winning smile and a cordial hello, then turned back to an absorbing article about a demonic elephant in Reader's Digest. The way that reads, that person is literally turning into a demonic elephant, or an article about a demonic elephant. Okay? The correct way, she neared. I offered up a winning smile and a cordial hello, then turned back to an absorbing Reader's Digest article about a demonic elephant. Really, the only difference they did there was put Reader's Digest article, but it helps clarify that the person's not turning in to something else. That's creepy. Okay. Use action verbs. You're going to see down there. You know what action verbs are, I hope. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. I do want to spend some time on page 192 talking about using active sentences. This is something that you probably aren't taught to do in a standard English class, but I'm going to teach you about it. I've got a bunch of beards sticking up. I'm going to talk to you about what an active sentence is and why we use these in journals. What an active sentence is, it has the person or thing doing the action. They are listed very first in the sentence. Okay, so if you look down I've got some highlighted stuff here. It's upside down. You're not going to be able to see that. But I want to go over the stuff that I've highlighted, and I'm going to read straight from the book. I don't often like doing that. But sentences which begin with the name of the person or thing doing the action are active sentences. Sentences which begin with the object or with a substitute for the subject. Object or substitute for the subject, such as there or it, followed by a verb such as is, are, or was, are passive sentences. We don't want passive sentences in journalism. Okay? The reason that we don't want passive sentences is we don't feel like, as the reader, we're a part of this. With active sentences, we feel like we're almost there, or we should feel like we're more a part of what's going on. Okay? The action is delayed because the reader has to figure out what the subject really is and what the subject is doing. Passive sentences lack the straightforward power of active sentences. So, passive. There were $4,850 worth of scholarships given out to Future Farmers of America Banquet May 16. The way that we would make that active is we would say exactly as they have there. Future Farmers of America members collected. They are the things doing they are the receiving. So, they are the receivers of the object. Okay, they are the receivers of the verb. They are the direct object essentially. So they are getting that action first. All right. Future Farmers of America members collected. Who collected? Future Farmers. Okay. 26 proficiency awards were also given for student projects. That's passive. Active. 26 student projects earned. Okay, you can see the change there. All right. Passive versus active. This is when we get into the news writing project, which you're going to be starting before I get back. I'm going to be looking for active sentences. If you have passive sentences placed in your project, you will be docked. Okay, we want active sentences. If you need any more help with that, I would Google it. I would love to be there and be working with you guys. But my son is awesome. He's so laid back. If he weren't eating right now, I'd have him right here so you guys could meet him. Super cool, and he's better than you guys. I like you. High five. But he's awesome. He's only like this big. So let's talk about redundancy. Page 193. I have 4 minutes to get through this. Redundancy is exactly what I think you know what this means. It's to be repetitive. If you say 9 a.m. in the morning, you're being redundant. I can't stand when people say PIN number, because what you're saying, PIN stands for personal identification number. So when you say PIN number, you're saying personal identification number. Same thing with VIN, vehicle identification number. That's not VIN number. Okay? Don't do that. It has some redundancies down here. Honest, truth, absolutely necessary. Fall down if you fell up. Fatally killed. I love that one. That's one of my favorites. True facts as opposed to, not true facts, or facts divided by -1. So you get the idea there. Okay? Avoid cliches. You're going to see that on page 194. Don't fall into cliches. Cliches, we all know it's things like the grass is greener on the other side. A lot of advertising slogans become cliches. I'm loving it. YOLO. If I could, YOLO. If I could just, I'm going to stop because I'm going to say something I shouldn't. That term, swag. Swag's another one right now. It's a cliche and I hate it. One of my staff members in PrintPub says it all the time, and he knows he's doing it to annoy me. And it works. Bias-free language. It's just basically maintaining objectivity in the language that you use. It's inclusive language. We're starting to become a more diverse population in terms of sexuality and gender identifications. So bias-free language plays a big part into that. Okay. Oh boy. 198. Copy is hard-written copy. It's on paper. Okay. Hard copy is the same thing. I don't care what they tell you. The copy and hard copy are basically the same thing. We live in a digital age now where we don't deal a lot with facing hard copy. We just refer to everything as copy. Okay. Byline is the line that has the author's name. The slug are the words that identify the story from the time it's assigned. The date line, the place and the time the story was written, and then copy editing symbols. If you are looking at my desk, right under my desk, down there is a poster with a bunch of these copy editing symbols. Because we're in a digital age, we don't use copy editing symbols much anymore. Using Google, you're going to see how this works later, but using Google, we do all of our copy editing there, and it's just awesome. You're going to love it or hate it. I don't really care. So that being said, that's chapter 8. And I'm excited to have that done because I have a minute left. I covered a chapter in 13 minutes and about 30 seconds. Mic drop. That was a hat. So that being said, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to email me. The next video I do will be regarding your news writing project. You guys can go back through this. I'll post them on Classroom too. But you guys can go back through this to get the notes that you want down. You're going to have a test. It won't be until I get back. You're going to have a quiz. Tomorrow's Thursday. You're probably going to have a quiz Monday, if not early next week, over the rules that we talked about in the last couple of videos and some of this stuff. So, that being said, if you guys have any questions, like I said, send them to me. You can email them. You can send them on Classroom. Whatever you want to do. And I will see you guys another time. No, you'll see me. I won't see you.